UGC NET English previous year's papers solved with explanations. Fill in the blanks. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Dash. In this petty page from day to the last dash of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that dash and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is dash no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sounds and fury, signifying nothing. Fill in the blanks, choose the set that carries the correct words. Option A, walks, breathe, creeps, shone. Option B, creeps, syllable, stoots, heard. Option C, moves, syllable, frowns, heard. Option D, creeps, moment, stoots, seen. So what is the answer? Option number B is the answer. Creeps, syllable, stoots, heard. Its detail. This is one of the more famous speeches written by Shakespeare and delivered his famous character Macbeth in the play of the same title. He says this to indicate that another day in his life would be just a futile and monotonous crawl toward the inescapable end. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty page from day to day. Act 5th, Scene 5th. In this soliloquy, Macbeth mounts his meaningless life and the time after his wife's death. He states that life is full of events and action, however absurd and short and completely meaningless at the end. What is an implied reader? Option A, the ideal audience envisioned by the author and to whom the work of literature is supposedly addressed. Option B, a reader who embodies all those predispositions necessary for a literary work to exercise its effects. Option C, the ideal reader of a work of literature which is approximated over time by successive responses of generations of actual readers. Option D, the ideal average reader who can approach a work of literature with no preconceived ideas upon the author's life, the time of composition, etc. So, what is the answer? Option number B is the answer. A reader who embodies all those predispositions necessary for a literary work of exercise its effect. Its detail. Wolfgang Iser's was a German literary scholar. In Wolfgang Iser's phenomenological theory of reader response, a hypothetical role or model of someone assumed by the author to share the knowledge necessary in order to fully understand the text as distinct from any actual readers. The difference between an implied reader and an actual reader is likely to be most apparent in reading works from a period when conventional values were very different. The implied reader is embodied in the way in this text structures responses in the form of a network of schemata, pattern, points of view, and indeterminacies that requires to constant interpretations. The implied reader is who is the author want to read at the book. The implied reader is one who can look at a specific piece of writing from an article to an advertisement in a different perspective and frame of mind. Next question is read the lines from the poem Alas, who boots it with unchanged care to tend the homely, slighted shepherd's trade, and strictly meditate the thankless muse. Were it not better done as other use, to sport with amaryllis in the sage, or with the tangles of Naira's hair? Who are Amaryllis and Naira in the above exact extract from John Milton's Lycidas? Options are A. Both were goddesses of love and war, respectively appearing in Greek pastoral poetry. B. Amaryllis is a Sappho's mentioned in Shakespeare's romantic comedies Neaera, a minor character in Love's Labour's Lost. Option C. Amaryllis is a Sappho's mentioned in ancient pastoral poetry, notably in Virgil's Eclogues, Neaera, a nymph who appears in Virgil's Eclogues. Option D. Both were one-time lovers of Lycidas, the dead Sappho. Option number C is the answer. Amaryllis is a Sappho's mentioned in ancient pastoral poetry, notably in Virgil's Eclogues, Neaera, a nymph who appears in Virgil's. Its detail. Lycidas is a poem by John Milton, written in 1637 as a pastoral elegy. The poem is 193 lines in length and it is irregularly rhymed, while many of the other poems in the compilation are in Greek and Latin. Lycidas is one of the poems written in English. Milton republished the poem in 1645. Amaryllis in Roman literature is a stock female character, a natural pretty young woman who was usually a shepherdess. Amaryllis is mentioned in classical pastoral poetry and is John Milton's Lycidas 1638. Neaera is another name who pops up in pastoral poetry. She appears in Virgil's Eclogues and the work of several later poets. The tangles of her hair are always mentioned. Next question. The chapter on the fall of rupee you may omit. It is somewhat too sensational even. These metallic problems have their melodramatic side. The fall of the Indian rupee in the final decade of 19th century is referred to in one of Oscar Wilde's play. Identify the play. Option A. The Importance of Being Earnest. Option B. Lady Windermere's Fan. Option C. An Ideal Husband. Option D. A Woman of No Importance. So what is the answer? Option number A is the answer. The Importance of Being Earnest. Its detail. Oscar Pingle of 𝗘𝗴𝗶𝗶𝗵 was an Irish poet and playwright. After writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. The Importance of Being Earnest, a tribal comedy for serious people, is a play by Oscar Wilde, first performed on 14th February in 1895 at the St. James Theatre in London. It is a farcical comedy in which the protagonist maintains fictitious persona to escape burdensome social obligations. Wilde's humorous intentions, notwithstanding the rupee, is now providing the world with some melodrama. Miss Prism tells these lines to Cecily. Why don't we have a little game? Let's pretend that we are human beings and that we are actually alive. This passage forms part of option A. Agatha Christie's The Mousetrap. Option B. John Osborne's Look Back in Anger. Option C. Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot. Option D. Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party. So what is the answer? Option number B is the answer. John Osborne's Look Back in Anger. Its detail. John James Osborne was an English playwright, screenwriter, and actor known for his excoriating prose and tense critical stance towards established social and political norms. The success of his 1956 play Look Back in Anger transformed English theatre. Look Back in Anger is a realist play written by John Osborne. It focuses on the life and marital struggle of an intelligent and educated but well-respected young man of working class origin, Jimmy Porter, and his equally competent yet impassive upper middle class wife Alison. The play revolves around social class in the United Kingdom, marriage, and misogyny.